Welcome back
to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where we like to get our listeners advice and then we provide them with the best sage knowledge that we have.
Yeah, because who better to give advice than us two? I mean,
two premium dudes giving premium advice.
Right. We are perfect in God's eyes. We can do no wrong. We both are packing 12-inch schlongs, and we are gods at sex. So who better to give you advice than that?
See, it still counts as 12 inches even if you fold the tape measure over a couple times.
Yes, that's the hack they don't tell you. If you fucking spin it into a 2-inch circle, anything is 12 inches. So you see that the guy with the world's smallest penis is welcoming challengers.
Nice.
Yeah, just thought I'd tell you about that. So,
so when's the competition?
I don't know, but he is welcoming challengers.
You're planning it, aren't you?
Which is crazy because, like, if there are people with, does it count if the penis is sucked inside of them?
Well, yeah, because that's negative penis.
Or does it only count if, like, it's the whatever penis comes out?
Not safe for work. Not safe for work.
Yeah, it's so. Look, and if you're listening to this and you have a micro penis, A, I'm sorry, okay? But B, that's why you got to learn how to eat pussy.
Well, everybody should do that, but yeah.
Right. Especially if you have a micro penis. You got to make her forget about it. What are you opening with your knife?
I'm trying to get the little safety seal to stay down because it came up.
Mike got some nasty-ass kombucha.
Mike's been having belly issues. His belly doesn't feel good.
Yeah, Mike's trying to get healthy so you guys can have Mike around for a little bit.
You know, that's the story you've been telling them for a year now.
Is it? Probably.
You quit smoking, picked it back up. You started exercising, stopped.
Hey,
started eating healthy.
I've dropped 10 pounds solely by not drinking calories. So, bam, that's all you got to do. If you're a guy, don't drink calories. It's finally warm season again, so me and Dylan's going to start walking.
I'm trying to get Mike out on a kayak.
Which is not hard. I'll go do it. I'll go do it right now.
All right.
We go.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Later, guys. Y'all got a 2-minute podcast?
That's pretty much what they should be getting. Just because why are you sitting here listening to two premium guys give premium advice?
I can understand two daddies judging baddies. This is kind of like this is the Wild West. We can just do whatever, man. We can talk about Trump bombing Iran so people could forget about all the pedophile stuff. And I think that I saw a meme and it was like, what you libtards don't understand is the only reason he bombed Iran was so people would forget that he's a pedophile. And people were like sitting there like, wow, I can't believe they're defending him. I'm like, oh, that's satire.
That's the craziest thing. And like we were talking about it yesterday, is just the hypocrisy that people, you know, if it was the other team, it would be the left, like given reasons why this is okay and this is fine to do. And
I wish we could hear the groans of the podcast listeners going, oh no,
they're doing it.
They're going down the road.
Well,
all right.
We do have tons of submissions because we've put it on the website. I've adjusted the form. Basically, if they're going to be personal stories, most likely they're going to end up over here. You can say that it's for two daddies judging baddies, but sometimes they just don't make sense over there. More Reddit-based stuff will probably end up over on two daddies judging baddies. So we're going to use our own discretion where the stories go.
Right. This is from McNugget. Am I the asshole for roasting my coworker into losing weight?
Yeah, loosing. You got to loosen it up before it comes off.
I had this girl that I would talk to, and she was very pretty, but she always mixed up won't and want. And I'm just like, it's so unattractive. Like, I'm sorry, girl. Like, get it together. I even tried to explain to her nicely. I was like, listen, when you want something, that's with an A. When you won't do something, that's with an O. And there's like an apostrophe T. So, for the past few years, I've roasted a coworker on and off about his belly. More so, his shirt being really tight, and instead of accepting the fact that he gained weight, he continued to wear the same size shirt. For context, I don't talk smack unless you give it first, and then it becomes a roast battle in my eyes. He would wear button-up shirts that tested the strength of the threads. Average size guy, except for the belly. I also have a belly, but my shirt fits. Anyways, I'd say to another coworker, you might need to put those safety glasses back on because his button's about to jet out and cause an incident. That's pretty good. You do say that when someone's wearing a very tight button-up shirt. Dude, your skin ain't as tight as that shirt. Your shirt and belly in a relationship, but barely hanging on. One more hot dog and that shirt's a crop top, bro. Did you paint your shirt on today? You know that shirt isn't made to stretch, but you're definitely trying like you think the shirt will grow on you. I'll start a GoFundMe so you can get shirts that fit, and let's go on. But he did recently start a carnivore diet and lost weight fast. So he called me fat one day, but I politely came back with a compliment. I'm really proud of you. You definitely dedicated your goal of losing weight. Now, if your big ass head would have taken the memo or would have gotten the memo, you wouldn't look like a methed out homeless man. You skinny looking bobbleheaded looking motherfucker. So the show with MD Mike and Dylan degree, am I the asshole or the hero? Hero. Listen, I am all for constructive bullying. I enjoy some constructive bullying. Like if you are, a kid listening to this podcast, hey, don't do it. What the fuck? You got terrible parents. But if you got some like cat people running around on your playground that believe they're cats, you bully them. And you bully them hard. Okay. So, because either they're going to look in the mirror and be like, I am not a cat, or they're going to hang themselves. In that case, we did not give you the advice to bully them, and you were a monster. But if they looked in the mirror and said, hey, I'm not a cat person, then hey, you got premium advice from two premium guys.
Just from one so far.
Yeah, just from one. What would you say, Dylan?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is you can't live your life and expect not to ever receive any sort of criticism. So yes, if you look in the mirror and your belly is pushing on those buttons, you can't expect somebody not to make a crack at it. Like, and is it nice? No, but you decided to wear that. That is your choice. And it is also somebody else's choice to give you a little razz for the fact that you're trying to like squeeze belly meat out through the little folds as it opens up. I'm not much for bullying, but you did help him make healthy choices.
We had one guy at work, and he was a big dude, and they were passing out work shirts, so we were going by taking people's work shirt sizes. This motherfucker told us medium, and he was bigger than me. And I was like, what kind of schmedium you wearing, boy? Like a schmedium for a rhinoceros?
He's going to give it to his wife.
All right. We was like, nah. Because then we were like, let me look at the tag on your shirt. And so for a good week, people would just be like, let me look at the tag. Show me the tag. Let me look at the tag.
Got to get the receipt.
Because he said it with his chest, medium. What are you thinking from 10 years ago, bud? Not today. You were not wearing a medium today.
When I went because for the longest time, I always wore mediums. And then I think it's probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I decided, like, let me try on a large. I haven't tried on a large in forever. And then I realized, I was like, this is way more comfortable. Like, I don't need to, like, have a form-fitting shirt. I'm a little bit bigger than I was in my 20s. I could go up a size. But then the craziest thing for me, though, is when I see somebody exactly my size in there, they're like, I'm a 2XL. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, that's not your size either. Like, XL if you want it to be a little baggy, but like by 2XL, you're swimming in that thing.
All right, you got a dress on. All right, you wanna hit us with some premium advice?
This is from our ski daddy. Sad letters to my father. This one is not so funny.
Womp womp.
So this letter is what I wrote to my father back when I was 8 or 9, a few months after my mom and dad split up. I'm typing this up the way that I wrote it back then, so please bear with me on the grammar and punctuation. I did fix the punctuation and a few little things just to make it easier to read.
Should we give him villain Mike for this or nice Mike?
That's I mean, he brought the story to the show, so he knows the people, and he is an avid listener, so he knows what could come out.
Who is this, Skabinsky? Okay. Sorry for doxing you. I didn't get the first name.
Doxed him right out here on the internet. I will also provide the letter that my mother also wrote to my father at the same time. We mailed these to him. At the time we did this, he never reached out like I thought he would. However, for some reason, he kept these. When he died back in September of 2024, we went through the little bit he had, and these were in there. So odd. So just to reference, this is Ski Daddy's third story submission. He was also the New Year's Eve trailer fire threat, where his dad threatened to burn down the trailer. And then, am I the asshole for not wanting to share news with my half siblings when his wife's pregnancy was happening? He was
Shout out Ski Daddy, because usually people will be like, "This is my third time writing in." I'm like, "Fuck,
I went back and made sure to like
pick
the titles.
So you
for this
did
one.
it,
Yeah,
nice.
because
All right. Well, here let's hear this 8-year-old's desperate want for his father back.
Anyway, here is the really sad letter that I wrote as a young kid to him. It's extremely sad. Dad, hello.
You got to do it the whole. You got to do it the whole fucking story now.
Hello. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I really miss you though, and I know I've been giving mommy a hard time with my behavior, but I've been upset since you have been gone because I don't have a dad around the house to be with me. I know that you and mommy can never get back together, but I just wished that we could have been a family and maybe I could be doing the things I'm doing. But I was wondering if you could come and take me to the movies sometime and spend some time, just me and you. Mom said she would pay for it so that I can be with you because I really need to see you from time to time. So would you please call me real soon and maybe we could go on a Friday or Saturday night. Love you, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon.
What a fucking piece of shit dad.
Right. And now we've said his first and last name in this. So.
You did. You didn't have to dox him, but you did.
That was, I mean, do you miss him or do you miss the movies? I'm not sure who I'm missing right now in this story.
Yeah, fucking dad. What a piece of shit. Like your son sends you a letter and says, "Hey, dude, I want to hang out with you." Like,
oh, but he kept the letter, so he's so sweet. But
never showed
like,
up.
yeah, you ignored your fucking son, douchebag. Listen, Mike has had a rough go of it in the dad department. Okay, I think I've told the story on here where I cried on my birthday because he promised he was going to take me and do all this shit. But I think that's what hardened me. You know what I'm saying? That's what hardened Kid Mike, where I was just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, but did you need to be hardened?
No, you don't need to be hardened, but sometimes shit hardens you. So, Brandon, I really hope after this, you did a little bit of cocaine, drank a couple beers, and was like, fuck that fucker.
At 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Like right after this letter, he's like, do some lines.
I started drugs super young, buddy.
All right, so you ready for mom?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the letter that my mother wrote to my father to go along with mine. I also typed this up the way she wrote it. I love my mother very much, but her punctuation isn't much better than an 8 or 9-year-old me. It is also very sad.
If it does not start off with, you stupid motherfucker, you better read that kid's letter and come goddamn see him. I swear to God, I'm going to come burn down whatever house you are in right now with whatever whore is with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the real question is like, what happened to split them up? Like what was going on? I can't really tell from the letters.
Yeah. Give us the tea. What happened?
All right. I don't know how to do a girl's voice.
What are you going to try?
Brad, the reason why I had Brandon write this letter to you is because you know how his behavior has been from Martin telling you and all.
Brandon's mom is the one woman that you see working at a factory. She's like, 37, but she looks like she's 58, smokes a pack of fucking Newports and just fucking gets it. Like the supervisor won't say shit to her because he's scared of her.
Well, it has gotten worse to where I have talked to him and asked him why he has been doing this. And so I said, is it because your dad isn't around? And he said yes. So not only have I noticed him being like this, but the school has, and so his teacher suggested maybe he could see a counselor. So we're going to try it and see how it works out. And also, the ADHD group that we go to on Tuesday nights suggested that maybe he could write you a letter and tell you how he feels, and maybe you could help him with this situation. He would really love it if you would take him to the movies or maybe the park, McDonald's, or whatever. But I'll pay for the movies and McDonald's and stuff. I know that things didn't work out between us, and I'm sorry. But I would love it if you could help our son out because he needs you more than anything. and the girls would love to see you sometime. But right now, I just need the assistance with Brandon. So, please think about it and call to let us know what you can do in this matter. And we can still be best friends, no matter what, okay?
Brandon's mom sounds kind of hot.
Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get this, like, she was like, all right, you're out. You're lame. And she might be kind of hot. And so she's just moving forward. But she's like, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Right, yeah, yeah. You'll find somebody different. Should.
Just not me.
Darling.
This pussy can't go
Don't talk about Brandon's mom's pussy. God, these are sad letters. But what's she look like, Brandon?
But that's crazy, though. He's got 2 other kids, too. 2 daughters. And homie just, like, dips.
Piece of shit. Sorry, Brandon.
I think he's on the... I think he's said multiple times his dad's a piece of shit. So
but you could break
on that train.
you could break that weak man cycle by being a strong man. That's what I did. I came from a lineage. My father, his father before him, his father before him, all ran out on their families. All of them. I was the only one that was just like, having kids ain't shit, pussies.
Oh yeah, and I think that he's because I do think Brandon is like one of those stand-up guys, and I think he made it through to the point where learned from the mistakes he doesn't want to make. And so, not that he had to go through this to get there, but I think he did a similar thing of making it through, deciding that I don't want to be like that guy. And so it is an example of overcoming it rather than, just repeating it like a lot of people do.
Right.
So Brandon continues, or Ski Daddy continues, because that's the name we're supposed to be using. He should have signed it Ski Daddy, and then wouldn't be fully doxed here.
Yeah, you're just so doxed right now, bro.
They're coming for you, bud.
They're coming for you. They're coming on you.
Oh, man. That makes you theirs.
Yep. Yeah, it does. Yep. That's what the doctors say. According to doctors, who are we to deny, say that a doctor's not right?
So, like a girl in a bukkake video, does she just become like...
All my children, yeah.
I now have 75 daddies. All right. I apologize for the depressing submission, but this does connect to the other stories I have submitted, albeit there were only 2 of them. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Love all that you do. 9/11 moon pies. Never forget.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry for bringing up your mom's pussy.
Yes.
Didn't mean to.
Dylan directly said it.
And then Mike had to
whoa! Are you cheating on me with another fucking podcast host?
Dude, I've got like 15 of these things.
Wow. Matt. Yeah. Who the fuck is Matt?
Way more charming.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually lets me talk and, listens when I'm talking. It's
like, is Matt a good guy to be like confused with?
I just feel seen and heard when I'm on a podcast with Matt.
Gay. Yeah. What do we say to Brandon? Like, I mean, you're an adult now, so I mean, we can't talk to really kid Brandon, but we could tell adult Brandon that, we hope you're doing good, bud. Skavinsky. I mean, fucking Ski Daddy. Jesus Christ. All right.
You put them all together.
Yeah. So, probably a very easy name to Google. That's why I'm so glad my name's Michael Wright. Like, Google me and the town that I'm in. You will not find me. There's thousands of us.
There's thousands of here.
There's herds of us. There is herds of us. We could literally, like, I have to become more famous than 2 Michael Wrights that are ahead of me. There's a comedian and then there's an actor, both black. When you search my name, black guy pops up. MADHD submission from Aloe. I'd like to hear y'all's take on this story. Oh, should have been for 2 daddies.
No, because they specifically said that it was for Mike and Dylan Hate Drama.
I don't know. I don't understand his rules.
You always bitch about not having any content for Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. You say that this is why this podcast sucks. I want to shut it down. Let's turn it off. And
I
so this
never
is
said those words.
No, just in private.
Just in private, yeah. Just when I'm feeling.
We had this discussion literally yesterday while we were getting all the stories together. I told you about this one, and you're like, "Oh, we should move it over there." And I was like, "This is the reasoning why we're not moving it over there."
Am I the asshole?
Yes, you are.
for avoiding my parents after discovering they were spreading super inappropriate lies about my husband and I. I don't understand parents that are like this. I don't understand it. Last year, my husband H, well, you call your husband H, that's why they're doing this. And I met my parents, uncle and aunt, for Thanksgiving. They had been vacationing together for a few days prior. As we were leaving, my aunt, who was visibly upset, pulled me aside and said, I need to talk to you. Can you call me in a few days? I asked if she was okay. She says, yes, I just need to ask you something, but not now. When I called to ask what was going on, my aunt said, I heard something that seems very out of character for you, and I want to see if it's true. Evidently, a few days before Thanksgiving, my parents told her an untrue story about how my current husband and I met. To note, I was separated at the time from my now ex-husband when we met. She explained, according to my parents, I met husband while online soliciting for a proposed threesome with my ex-husband as a last-ditch effort to salvage my then failing marriage.
That's how you fix them. Is you just go ahead and do that threesome.
That's a wild lie to make up, though, for parents. However, during this thrice, H and I supposedly realized we had a connection which led us together while choosing to dissolve my previous marriage. I was shocked as none of this was true. We met at work through mutual friends, and our romantic relationship developed slowly over a period of time. I had repeatedly told my parents how we met and even introduced our mutual friends to my parents at our wedding as the ones who got us together. So I FaceTimed my parents and asked them why they're lying about us behind our backs. They look me dead in the eyes and say, because that's what you told us. Excuse me? And when I refuted this, my dad proceeded to get angry at me, saying that I must have amnesia as my mom stormed off, refusing to discuss the issue. The rest of the call is me sitting in silence while he attempted to gaslight me. I'm dumbfounded.
It's so wild because, like, when you talk to your parents about the people you meet, do you tell them, like, if that was actually how you met the person, was through trying to do a three-way, would you actually be like, this is how we met? I was trying to get dong from both sides, and I fell in love with him.
My husband was like, hey, I really want to see you spit roasted, okay? Unfortunately, I ain't got two penises, so I'm not going to be able to do it. We're going to have to bring another guy in. You're sitting there telling your mom this.
And it sucks, like, reaching over.
Yeah, you're sitting there. He tried this thing where he'd reach over and, like, he'd finger it.
Not good.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. So what we did was we called in this one guy, H, okay? And let me tell you, that thing.
H for heroin.
Yeah. When he put it on my butt and it touched the middle of my back, I knew that I immediately felt that connection.
It was like love at first dong.
I mean, he put his dick inside of me and it touched my ex-husband's dick from my mouth. And that was when I knew he was the one for me. So
that's how we met, Mom.
And then, no, you tell Dad that. And then Dad's just sitting there like, okay. Just okay. A few days later, I get a call from my cousin. She explains that my dad told her husband the same story almost 8 years ago, which they had believed until now. My cousin apologized for not saying anything sooner, but the story made them so uncomfortable they didn't know what to do. Yeah, that's a wild story. H and I wrote my parents an email explaining what we had discovered and asked them the simple question as, why did you make this up? Who else have you told? Etc. We've been emailing back and forth for almost a year and gotten nowhere. Just cut them out. Mm-hmm. Just cut them out. They're making up stupid stories about you. Just don't talk to them anymore. Their story keeps changing. The blame keeps shifting. And they have continuously tried to diminish the seriousness of this issue, even saying, no one thinks any less of you because of it. What? It never happened, period. The only apology we've gotten is, we're very sorry for upsetting you. You mean you're not sorry for lying about your daughter for the past 10 years? Most recently, they have almost demanded that we forgive them and move on. Since we haven't forgiven them yet, we're responsible for my mother crying all the time and essentially breaking the family apart. So, am I the asshole for wanting to continue to avoid my parents, even though I'm tearing the family apart? Yeah, you're the asshole, okay? Just tell him, H, once they flipped you over and H put the fucking, the dick on your fucking pussy bound and that shit was underneath your titty, he was just like, this is the man for me. Just come true about it, okay? Because obviously you told them this story because that's what daughters do.
What parent would then tell that story? Like,
right,
I mean,
yeah.
Like, once, if that is the true story, be like, oh, they met through some mutual friends.
If my daughter told me that, I'd be like, you don't tell your mom that? And now I gotta kill myself, I guess. I gotta die now because I heard that story. But you don't fucking ever tell your mother that. You make up something. You make up something fucking sweet about how you met that man.
He was in line at McDonald's and he paid it forward and bought my meal. I mean,
Oh God, have you ever had that happen to you?
Mm-mm.
I have. I just pulled up and look.
It's such a cheesy thing.
I was
You're
at
still paying for a fucking meal.
I was at a gas station, and the way I have it, I have to move money from savings into. So I moved.
See what I have is that I got 2 accounts. So
I mean, that's what it is, though. I have everything in savings, so I don't spend money because then it's an extra step to spending money to dissuade you from spending money. But I'm there getting cigarettes, and I forgot to move money into the account, so it like declines it. Okay, and I'm like, oh, I just got to move money from my savings. So I stand back to do it, and then the guy pays for it.
yeah,
And then I go up, and the guy's like, oh, that guy paid for you. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So then, because now, like, I'm like, what do I do? Because I walk out of the store, and he's standing there. So I was like, I guess I got to go up and be like, oh,
no,
thanks, bud. Why'd you do that? Fucking don't do that. Don't, nasty. That's just my pride. But I walk up, and he was like, yeah, man, you're felonious fly. And so now, doubly, not only he's just going to his friend's house and is like, y'all, felonious floss poor as fuck, dude.
Is he wrong?
He's not wrong, but still, I had enough money to buy cigarettes.
Yeah. But I mean, if somebody does something nice for you, though, you don't have to feel bad about it. That's the difference. It is perspective. And like, yeah, a little awkward in the moment, but somebody just wanted to do something nice for you.
So I was like, hey, man, add me so I can give you some labor llama. And I sent him a friend's request on Facebook, never answered it.
Yeah, he didn't want to hang out with a bird.
Yeah, he got home that day, and he was just like, who the fuck is that? I thought Felonious Falafel was going to hit me up.
Oh. Some Michael Wright.
Dude, my whole body felt fucking hot and embarrassed, and I just got too much pride for that.
No, we used to play this game where one of my ex-girlfriends, her dad, it would always be a competition of who was going to pay for dinner. And so it was always like who could get the bill and pay for it all. And so there's been a lot of times that I've paid for everybody's dinner back when I had money. And
well, it's the ginger, dude. Oh,
so good.
The other one was good.
You don't like ginger?
I don't like the strong ginger taste. I used to drink a lot of ginger, and there's another root that takes away inflammation. It's used in curry. What is it?
The only other root I'm thinking is ginseng.
No, but I used to mix those together and drink those in hot water and like a tea. And I hated it.
You're so crunchy.
Never got to liking it. It was better than banging a bunch of ibuprofen. So yesterday, my stomach was hurting.
Fuck it, though. Like, you're just supposed to swallow it.
Yesterday, my stomach was hurting. And it was the little bone in your ribs. I have it's like costochondritis or whatever, where like my rib cage will inflame, and that's what it was. It wasn't anything digestive, so the kombucha was just kind of like I don't know what I'm doing here, bud. Like, I guess he was helping out to an extent, but I went to lay down in the bed, and I'm like laid in a position, and I have my fist right there at it. And I was like, oh, that's probably why it fucking hurts, because I'm how I'm laying. I sleep, like my whole wrist pain, everything. Like, I'll wake up, Amy takes pictures of me while I'm sleeping, but my hand will be like on the bed frame, all pushed back like this with my arm.
Yeah, I do stupid shit like that.
And and I'll wake up and I'll be like, I can't move my body. And Amy will be like, well, this is how you sleep at night.
You ever woken up after you've like slept on an arm or something, and then when you wake up, it's like there's no feeling, and you're like, will this arm ever be usable again?
No, there is feeling, because then the fucking prickly thorns of hell you start to feel that.
But have you ever had it like where it literally wouldn't move, and you're just like, what?
This is how I live now. I'm now one armed. Man, I played against a guy. He had like how do I put this?
In cards, in basketball, in baseball.
No, wait. His arm, like he couldn't use his arm at all, and there was like no muscle in it. So it was like some form of like muscular dystrophy. Yeah, that's how he literally put his arm on the table. He fucking swung it over. But I played him in chess in 7th grade. We were at the state championship, okay? And this is like round 2 or 3. I was not expecting a loss until later in the rounds. I was good at chess. I wasn't like a fucking phenom. I wasn't a grandmaster. And this is just a state championship in North Carolina. You're not playing against the cream of the crop here, okay?
You didn't know every move and all the counter moves of what everybody was going to do.
But dog, he proceeded to fuck me up. And then
with his strong hand?
No. Yeah, with a strong hand. Yeah. The other hand did nothing. Absolutely did not contribute to the game. But time is called. And so when time gets called, if nobody's won, it's just a tie, which is stupid. Because, I mean, he was fucking, I was running from him. Like, I'm running from, like, I guess he didn't know how to finish or whatever, but I don't know what I was doing. I think I tried to do like a paladin's mate, the little form. He countered it immediately, and I was just like, I'm in deep water now. I'm not studying openings and shit like that at this point. Because 7th grade was the grade I started to do chess in. So I'm just like, he could just have the win. Like,
yeah, he's going to win. It's just.
But as soon as I said that, he was like, oh, he conceded. He said I could have the win. And I was just like, oh, now I want to take it back. He was kind of dick about it.
Yeah.
Fuck you and you.
Oh, thank you.
So then where we went to, it was a good school, man, like a rich people school. They had this one area that looked like their like little playground that was connected to the gym looked like a celebration station. Dead ass. And I was just in there playing, and I saw that kid, and I was like, man, I don't want to chuck this big foam ball I have at him. I was so salty about it because he was just like, I was just like, oh, I'll just give him the win because if you were whooping my ass the whole time, and he was just like, oh, he conceded. He was fucking wiggling the little arm around and shit. I was a little bit pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. I probably said some problematic things during that time. It was a different time.
No, you've always been very, very particular with your words, where you do not like to offend people.
That's right. Yes. So if you ever heard me say anything racist or sexist, just know
it's AI.
Yeah, it's AI.
All right. So we've got a Ricky from Oklahoma or a DeMailman. Which one do you want?
DeMailman.
All right. So Ricky from Oklahoma. Title is My Son Stood Up for Himself.
Ooh, I got first time trying Coke. So,
hey there, Mike and Dylan. It's me again, Ricky from Oklahoma. I'm currently listening to the new episode 2DJB number 112, dealing with entitled people. This story took place back when my son Brody was around 5 years old. He's 16 now. At the time, he was shy when it came to talking to cashiers and ordering food. To help with this, I'd ask if he was comfortable ordering or paying. This story takes place at our hometown Brahms, Braums. I've never had a Brahms. If you're not, I didn't read this. So if you're not familiar with Brahms, it's a burger place and ice cream shop. It's very good. Anyway, to the story. My son Brody was about 5 at the time. I realized I already gave this information. Too bad. Just read it. He was doing awesome at school, and I decided to treat him with something he wanted, and he asked for ice cream from Brahms. As we walked into the store, I asked if he wanted to order and pay. He said yes. So I stood back far enough that I wasn't in line, but close enough if he needed me, I was there. Brahms has 2 places to order. One side of the counter is for the food side, and the other is just ice cream. Quick question. How many times am I going to say ice cream? Too many. I think it's too many on the Brahms.
Right. Yeah, Brahms now owes us some burgers or something.
Yeah. Will they still be good when they ship them through the mail?
Maybe.
It's from Oklahoma. My son was standing at the ice cream counter patiently waiting for the employee to acknowledge him. The employee was busy cleaning and didn't notice my son. My son was almost the same height as the counter. An older lady walks up and the employee acknowledges her and she begins to order. At that moment, my son did something that surprised me. He said, "Excuse me, sir. I was here first and I haven't been helped." Also, I heard her start to order. As a protective dad, I started to step up and say something, but my son beat me to it. Anyway, there's no TLDR. He stepped up and stood up for himself. I was really impressed with him doing it in a very polite manner. He was nicer about it than what was about to come out of my mouth. Well, that's all I have for now. I love you. Bye.
Some of these stories are just like, here's a story. I need no advice. We're supposed to give advice.
I need to give you advice, Ricky. I haven't been checking the voicemails. I know he's dropped a couple. I haven't checked them.
Oh, I haven't checked the voicemails in forever. Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Once we took it out of the description, I was like, I don't check them anymore.
This one says first time trying Coke. So
I'm proud of your son, Ricky. That was a good move. It shows that you
good for standing up for himself.
Well, yeah, it's tough to do, and like people will step all over you. So that was a good learning moment for him to just be like, "Nah, bitch, I'm in line."
That's fucking disgusting. Blah.
So you're taste buds never made it past like 5 years old, right?
No, it's fucking ginger and vinegar. Like, it's not going to be
that with
delicious.
anything.
It's not going to be delicious for anybody.
With everything, you're like,
It's ginger and vinegar.
No, it's ginger and lemon.
Lemon got its fucking ass whooped in that drink, buddy, because you don't taste him at all.
I do.
Yeah, I know. I got a super palate. My name's Dylan, and I can taste all 26 flavors.
I drink more than sugary sodas and sweet tea.
Message. Oh, this says title first time trying Coke. Hello, fellas. As you could tell from the title, this is another one of my delinquent stories from my youth. I've only tried Coke twice. Unlike Mike, my experience with it was lackluster. Well, the second time I tried it was in my later 20s for a married grad parade. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Is it a Mardi Gras parade?
Maybe.
Because it says married grad parade. Did a few lines before getting on a float. It had to be Mardi Gras. Drank a fifth of whiskey because, didn't get drunk with the Coke, or at least I thought. I came down and the whiskey kicked in. Then I woke up 5 hours later, cold and lost, but that's besides the point.
That just sounds like Mardi Gras, right? I've never been, but.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, there's nothing more fucking annoying than having Coke on you, and then a bitch knows you have Coke on you, and they're just like, let me just get a line. I got to sober up. I got to sober up a little bit. I got to sober up. Let me get a little line. I'll sober up. We'll suck your dick in the bathroom. We'll sober up. I'm just like, get the fuck away from me. Fucking crackhead.
Never had Coke in my pocket, so.
The more interesting time was when I was 17. Me and my buddy Big Hawks were hanging out when an old pal Brandon hit me up asking if I wanted to go pick up some mushrooms. I never partook, hesitantly agreed. The reason I believe they invited me was because I had a car. They said the said car, by the way, was a 1994 Chevy Cavalier 4-cylinder, 0 to 60 by the end of the year, but that baby was amazing on gas and had cold AC. Also was the length of a queen-size mattress, but I digress and continue. So me and Big Hawk, 6'3", go to meet Brandon, who's with another guy called Chin. He was Asian. And some white chick who I guess is Beth. I don't really know. We pile up in the sardine can and they take me back to a big road with a big cow pasture. We park a little ways down and he said if the farmer shows, they'll distract him so I can get away. But things go off without a hitch. I'm looking, but they warned me about death caps. So I was like, yeah, I'll look, but this ain't really for me. What is death caps?
Just a poisonous mushroom. Can't eat. But we did a skit on this. If you guys, it's Country Boys versus Cop. It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. It's on YouTube, yeah, about a guy going in a field collecting mushrooms.
Spaghetti mushrooms.
After about an hour or so, we would all meet back up at the Trapmobile and a nicer part of town in his parents' fenced-in backyard. This is where things start to get interesting. They give us the shrooms and say, here, this isn't enough for us, so y'all enjoy. I immediately tell Hawks, yeah, I'll pass. I'll just smoke a blunt. He says, fuck it, and eats them. Mind you, still with the cow shit on these mushrooms.
Yeah, those are the supplements and the nutrients.
That's the protein, buddy. Yeah, that's the zinc and the doo-doo and all the stuff your body needs for a growing boy. After about 30 minutes, I ask how he feels. He says he's not tripping. Everything is just vibrating and he feels pretty chill. We kind of just keep doing our own thing without noticing a party is going on right behind us. They're doing bumps and shit when I notice Brandon say, oh shit, how rude, do you want some? Now, I seen how Coke was portrayed in movies, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to feel like a god. So I do a few bumps, and I get a mild Adderall feeling, but nothing I'd be willing to spend $45 or whatever it costs a gram for. I think they felt the same because Beth and Chin were doing something, but couldn't really see, being that the lights were so dim. To be honest, Beth was wearing a loose shirt with no bra, so all I was looking at was titties. Didn't see what was happening around because I didn't care. It wasn't until Chin asked me to get a drop of water on a spoon for him. Weird, but I did it. Yeah, burp, burp, burp. It's when I came back and he just had a second spoon with a bump on it, and he poured a little drop of water, heated it up just a little, then took a needle, sucked it into the needle, and then stuck it in his veins. It's when I realized this was indeed not the party I was participating in. I looked at Hawks, he looked at me, we both looked at Best Titties and said, I'm gonna go smoke a blunt. Walking out, I noticed they were all doing the shooting up, so yeah, I was going to smoke and going Irish goodbye to them. Beth followed and was all over Hawks because while I'm 5'3" and what my Forrest called a muscle hamster, chunky but country strong, and Hawks being tall and slim, build but great jawline, just made sense the hoe would want him. Weird she would want to do it with her boyfriend right there as we were walking out, but he looked pretty tied up anyways. We get outside, we smoke while she is basically giving him a hand job. And I tell him I am going to chief the first half. So I go sit in my car for about 20 minutes. Then I'm going home. I never asked him if he ended up giving her the wang dang doodle, but he did meet me in 15 rather than the allotted 20 minutes I gave him. It was a crazy night from start to finish. Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. Love the show. Got an MADHD story I'm on the fence about posting, but until next time, boys. So my first time doing coke, like I said, I was like 16 or 17, and I'm pretty sure we pick up a kid named Travis because he's going to fight somebody. Travis is dead now. He died of an overdose. But he's going to go fight somebody. So we don't find the person that he's going to fight. So I'm really bummed about not getting to see a fight. So I'm like, sad face. Well, then he's like, well, I got some coke. Does anybody want to try it? And I was like, fuck yes, I want to try it. Like, what? Free and drugs? Like, whatever, I'll try it. So he gives me like a little bump of it at first because he's like, oh, you never done it before. And my friend Matt is there. Matt's still alive. Matt now owns like a farm and loves Jesus. I think I told the bath salt story when we did bath salts, and Matt's the one that freaked out super fucking bad on it. So Matt's sitting there.
Jesus at.
Yeah, Matt's sitting there, and he's just like, don't do a lot. Matt does drugs too, okay? He does drugs to a rather crazy extent, duster and all sorts of shit. But he's like, I don't know, real wary about it. I guess that's why he's still alive. But he was like, don't do too much because you don't know how much your body can handle. And I was like, my body can handle all of it. So I do a few bumps, and I get like a pretty decent feeling. My middle brother catches us doing it, and he's all pissed about it. He goes and tells my brother, he's like, Mikey was doing coke in a car. And my brother goes, he's a grown-ass man, my older brother. He's like, he's a grown-ass man. I was like, yeah. Not really, but yeah, sure. And then just later that night, fucking one of my friends hit me up and said, hey, we're doing like a little Call of Duty match. We're just 1v1ing each other. So I go down there. I was like, oh, that sounds like a fun time. Lo and behold, the guy's house we go to, and this dude, everybody there, me, Corey, and we're all within like a 2-year age range of each other. This other guy's like 38 years old. And he's just like, yeah, we're all playing Call of Duty. He's got a house and shit like that. It's all cool and shit, and we're playing. And then he just busts out some coke. And that's when I learned what key bumps were. And what's so funny, too, is like, I would just sit there and I'd just be like, 1, 2, 3. Because I was like, I don't know if I'm like really getting the good feeling. So that's when, because we had also started drinking too. I mean, if any of this shit was like, if there was anything in, like if he wanted to have some booty hole that night and he had put any, I would be gone from this stuff. Because I was just like, without question, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But I think that's where I fell in love with it, because we were just like playing video games, and then I started feeling really good, and then we started talking about like fucking conspiracies and shit like that. And I guess that's why when I do a drug like that, like if I'm doing a bunch of Adderall, if I'm doing a bunch of coke and stuff like that, and I'm really stimmy and feeling great, I don't want to be around no bitches because A, my dick ain't gonna work at all. You just fuck. Ain't no sense. I've had many a women try, many a women fail. Okay, there's only one woman literally that's been able to get a stimulated Mike's dick up, and that's my wife. I don't know. She's just a
magician.
She's a magician. She's a wizard. That's why I don't know. Like when you have like the one night stands and shit like that, and people, I think dudes will get older and they'll be like, oh, well, I didn't get that, so I'm sad. And I'm like, dude, it's not. If you have a wife, you have infinitely better sex with that wife than you would a person that you just met.
I don't know why, but I never have been that. Like, I never thought of like, oh yeah, I just want to, get a chick, and then like, because I know from experience, the first time is never the best time. It's 2, 3, 4 times in where everybody gets comfortable and things can go off the rails. But like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna like just meet a chick, and lick her butthole. I'm not gonna do it. Like, that's not gonna be the way that this goes down. So, for me personally, I was always that way. And I guess I just never was around a bunch of people that did coke. There's like friends of mine that did it, but in the phases that I was hanging out with them, they weren't coke heads. And then so I've done it twice in my life, basically like the mailman. There was one night, the second time that I tried it, and I was hanging out with my buddy, and then my ex-girlfriend's brother and his wife, and we were just drinking, playing poker and everything, and they broke out some Coke, and they're like, "You want to do some lines?" And I did a hefty amount of Coke. And I was like, I don't feel like anything. Like, I mean, I feel different, but not in a way that like this is something A, I'd spend money on, B, that is really exciting. Like all it did was take away my drinking buzz. And I was like, no, I worked hard. Like I worked and I was drinking, and that's what I want. Like I don't necessarily want to just be basically sober again.
You'll die doing Coke and fucking drinking beer because you just won't feel how drunk you are.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing with psychedelics. We did a bunch of mushrooms one Easter at Myrtle Beach, and we did them in the morning. And then before we were coming down, we started playing beer pong and just drinking heavy as hell. And then about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the mushrooms were wearing off. And all of us just went like, it was like a switch flipped. And we went from being tripping to being like one of the drunkest without blacking out that I've ever been.
So back when Amy was pregnant, and this is when she had left me because she was like, you know, dude's just a drug addict. He's not going to get on. So I go to, you know, I'm gonna beat up about it because I'm like, oh man, she ain't gonna let me see my kid. I was about to be one of those guys where they didn't, you know, they just wanted to do
Didn't
drugs
try,
all day.
but
And they'd post on Facebook about being a dad and shit like that. I was really heading down the road of doing that. But we got to this party in this field and I'm doing Coke, and it's been one of the few times that I fought on cocaine. And I swear to God, like, you don't watch Nardo, but someone who is watching this podcast will have watched Nardo. It felt like I had Sharing and I, because they tried to jump one of my friends, and these kids are probably around like 16, 17. I'm 19. But I'm just sitting there talking to my friend, and a guy comes up and like he grabs his legs and pushes him down and goes to pull him off. I just punched that dude as hard as I can, and then his 3 friends ran up, and I squared up with them, and this one big one come, because them 3 were just like, no, we are good with this one. But this one big boy comes back, and he thought, and I swear to God, this punch is slow motion, like it's just like, and just it felt like I had Chargan. I felt like I was fucking superhuman. But usually when I was doing it, man, you couldn't disrespect me enough to get me to fight. You could be like, Mike, you a bitch. You a whole bitch. I hate you. I hate everything about you. I just like, man, that's crazy to hate, dude, man. You hate? That's why Shia LaBeouf, every time I see him talk, I'm like, dude has to do just a plethora of cocaine, because he's just always. Did you see his little interview?
aren't cokeheads usually pretty aggressive?
Not me.
Not you, but as a stereotypical.
Never met like a real, like a, I got way more of that from people who drink alcohol. Like that was like that's why I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I don't hang around when people are drinking a bunch of alcohol, because that's the ones I find stupid. Like I've done coke with a whole bunch of people that were just happy, and we're talking about, you know, brothers and shit like that, and everybody just feels happy and shit. Like, yeah, you feel invincible, but you feel good. Like you got a euphoria going on. I've never really seen somebody with an angry euphoria.
I think the thing is like who you are, because I think a lot of that plays into how you react. Because, you know, I've spent a good portion of my life with people that were drinkers, and it's always been a great time. There's a few off chances where there's been some.
You got somebody that'll fuck it up, yeah.
But like, I think it's the people that you hang out with, the people that you surround yourself with, because like fighting was never, like I used to throw rager parties, and it was always some random person that came in that would start some shit. Outside of that, we could go weeks, as long as nobody that somebody invited wasn't an aggressive person. We'd go weeks and weeks and weeks without even an argument. Like it was just a great time the whole time.
Now, I've done Suboxone twice, and both times that shit turned me into a goddamn hornet. Like you felt good, but I was just so angry, and I'm just like, I don't want a drug that's just gonna make me feel angry. I'd rather do the real shit than this synthetic stuff. Because I mean, the first time I did it, I remember this dude Cody gave it to me. It's the same Cody that we, you know, beat up at that one party when Amy was there pregnant, because I misunderstood her. You won't. Yeah, I bet you won't.
You won't.
Yeah, you better not. That's pretty much what she was telling me, was you better not. But I thought it was like a cutesy little challenge that she gave me. But he gives me some Suboxone, and at first I was like, oh yeah, you know, fuck yeah. I mean, it's like one of the best pain pills I've ever done. Like Shit on all of them. We're riding down the road, my hat flies off because I stick my head out the window. I run down and get it. I'm in a good mood. And like a fucking switch, that shit just turned. We get back, and I guess because it was like wearing off or something like that. But we get back, and my brother tries to, I can just go in on him. And normally my brothers, they're usually off limits to my anger. But him, I was just like going in at him and shit like that. And I was just like he sits there and he kind of starts crying a little bit. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm a monster. Then I go back and I apologize. So I'm like, hey, man, the fucking shit that he gave me, it's made me angry as shit, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I was more the angry drunk out of the whole group of people that I hung out with.
I think it was also, too, because a girl hit me up, and she was like, hey, I'm pregnant with your baby. And I was like, no, the fuck you're not, slut. No, you're not. I was like, fuck you.
Had a lot going on that day.
Had a lot of that happened. And I guess, I don't know, like, bitches that got around, if you were just like, no, I'm not, then you'd be like, all right, well, I thought it would be you. But I ain't even nutting you, bitch. Like, it's just like, hey, we fucked in the woods. I'm pregnant with your baby. And that's another thing, too, is I raw dogged everybody. Everybody. Especially, like, in the Trinity-Thomasville area. Like, if you're listening to this, I probably raw dogged somebody you know. But the amount of times I would actually bust in them was not that much. Because I'd be heavily on drugs and eventually get bored and be like, fuck, I want to go hang out with some dudes, man. I want to go fucking hang out with some bros.
See, if you'd been raw dogging the boys, then you probably would have nutted in all of them.
Fuck no, man. There's been plenty of times where, like I said, my friend Kevin, I about said his last name too because it starts off like that. Kevin that died. He would always be like, man, we need to get some bitches. And he would like be hitting up these bitches. And you just hear him on the phone like, oh my God, hey, who's all over there? And like he'd be like naming the people over there. And they're, oh yeah. And I'm like, don't bring that over here, dude. We don't need that. We're fucking boxing in the living room, dog. Like we're boxing in the living room. And then it'd always be the dudes that just don't ever get pussy. They'd be like, yeah, get some bitches over here. I'm like, no, we don't need bitches over here.
Even
we got
if
us.
they come over here, you're not going to get them.
Right. We got us. Yeah, if they come over here, I'm probably going to fuck one of them, and that's going to ruin my night. Like, I'm just trying to hang out with the dudes.
Yeah, you just want to fuck the dudes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's why I'm 100% like gay people.
I think you missed that joke then.
What?
Because like that's what my joke was that you just wanted to or like if you just raw dogged in the guys, you would have nutted in all of them because you would have actually been able
Yeah, we would have been having like a bro moment. We would have been having fun and shit like that. It would have been
the passion was there.
It wouldn't have been a bitch that, especially like when you're a teen having sex and you got teens trying to emulate shit that fucking porn stars do, and then they try to like ride you in like a real erotic way and they have no goddamn rhythm to it. And you're like, fucking stop, let me do it. God damn. You ain't doing nothing right now. You ain't doing nothing right now. It's like her whole body's moving. Everything's moving except for her fucking pussy and ass. So it's just like stationary on your dick. And you're like, you know, nothing's happening right now.
Got to put on the show.
Got to put on the show. See, that's why I said, like, if you have a wife, don't miss that. Don't be like, man, I missed out on all them one. They're not what they're cracked up to be.
Well, that was one of, I think, Tom Segura's jokes is like, you know, technically when you're married, you can ask for some crazy shit. She can try to, like, if you want to do something, there's a person right there that's like, we're married. Ask her. Like, you can do some crazy shit with your wife. You don't have to go find some freaky bitch that, like, no, just ask her. She might be down for it. She might not be.
I don't know. I know we've read a lot of stories on here where it's like a guy and he's like, you know, my girl slept with and like, I want to go out and sleep with a random person. And then it's like, you're just going to ruin your life, dude. Like, you're just going to fuck everything up because you're going to be like, wow, this is not as good as the sex that I have with my wife.
Yeah. 100%. So we have two other stories, but we can either save them for later or,
we'll do one of them. We'll do one of them.
Ricky or DeMailman.
Oh my God! Look, fucking keeping
That's why I put him over there.
Keeping this podcast afloat since 2025.
Both of them submitted for Two Daddies Judging Baddies. But.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Ricky. Ricky, you're getting done today. So this is from Ricky from Oklahoma. Am I the asshole for telling my wife's brother he's not welcome? Hey there, Mike and Dylan. It's Ricky from Oklahoma. I have another Am I the asshole that I need advice for. Here's the too long didn't read. Oh, is he fucking with us?
No.
I let my wife's 18-year-old brother move in from Veneta, Oklahoma to our house in Pryor, Oklahoma because his ex-girlfriend Izzy got him beat up and tried to convince him to kill himself. My wife wanted to keep him safe and help him graduate high school. Everything was going good for several until he started calling and FaceTiming Izzy literally all day. If he wasn't at school, he was in his room on the phone with her. He would even FaceTime her while at work. He worked at a pizza place called Sam and Ella's.
Man, he just doxes everybody.
Yeah.
Name, we don't have the road address, but we got everything else.
Yeah, we got everything else. You can look for it in fucking Pryor, Oklahoma. One day he was FaceTiming her and she said someone broke into her house. I happened to overhear the conversation and tell her to call the cops. She says she did, and all they did was take the guy home. I didn't/don't believe that. A couple days later, I tell my wife that Chris, the younger brother, plans on asking me if I would take him to his friend Stevie's house in Veneta that also happened to get broken into the same day. I wonder if it was the same guy, question mark, question mark, question mark. It was a shithole town, so I sit him down to have a fatherly conversation with him. He's never had a father figure. I tell him that I don't believe he's going to Steve's house and I have a feeling that Chris was in fact going to Izzy's house. He did confirm that with me. I proceeded to tell him that I understand he's in love with this girl, but she's done nothing but cause problems for him. Then I tell him that if anyone hurt my 16-year-old son, Brody, that I don't know how I'd handle it. It wouldn't be good. And I'd be furious with Brody if he continued to want to have that type of relationship with that type of person. He seemed to understand, but it didn't stick. He told my wife he's 18, he could do whatever he wants.
I think that's one of the hardest things with kids, though, and we're with anybody. When somebody has a bad partner, trying to get them, I mean, you just dealt with this recently. But like, that's the thing is like, we don't have to go into any details to, like, we don't have to dox anybody. We don't have to go into the depths with anything.
Right.
It's one of those things where when somebody doesn't have a partner that is good for them, that is causing them problems, you trying to interject and intervene and point them down a different path, a lot of times is actually counterproductive, and it forces them even more
into
towards that person. And then they almost feel like they have to prove you wrong and show you that this person is not who you say they are. And it's counterproductive. And so like with this, it's hard to have those conversations and actually open their eyes to the point where they see what you're talking about.
The best thing you could do is lay out how you feel and then leave it alone and kind of let them start to see the problems arise. Because once someone else has, alerted them to problems, that's when they can start to see the problems pop up. Now, let's circle back to his job. He works at Salmonella's. Yes, it's supposed to sound like salmonella. That's a terrible marketing strategy for a restaurant. He was only working there maybe 2 months.
He might have made it up.
Okay.
Snarked.
Yeah. Fucking snark Mike. Mike's like that's a terrible business decision. He was only working there maybe 2 months before everything really snowballed. Chris takes mental health medication but stopped because his assistant manager, Daniel, told him that he didn't really need them. What's funny is I was going to have my son Brody apply to work there, but then I stopped because Daniel and I would be would have very unfriendly words if he was telling my son to stop taking his medication. So fast forward to February 12th. Chris and Brody did have school on the 13th and 16th of this month. On Friday the 13th, Chris packed a bag to meet someone at the corner store for a ride to go to Veneta's to go to Izzy's house. He then blocked my wife on everything. When she was finally able to get a hold of him on the 16th, he asked if we were coming to get him. I told her to tell him no. He made his decision. Now he has to deal with the consequences. He then gets mad at my wife, starts playing victim card, and then lets Izzy get on the phone to call my wife a stupid bitch. My wife was furious and wanted to go over there and figure this out, in quotation marks. So probably deliver some good old fisticuffs. I told her that it probably wouldn't end well for anyone. Weird that I had to be the level-headed one. After a week of him not being here, my wife and her mother are on the phone. My wife is nearly in tears because of the situation. My wife then asked me, "Are you sure?" I stopped before she could finish the sentence. I said, "Because the way he has treated you, he is no longer welcome in our house." He then tells her mom that I won't budge on the issue. So am I the asshole for not letting my wife's 18-year-old brother move back in with us? Okay, love you. Bye. No. He's stupid and he's got to make his mistakes on his own.
Well, yeah, and the second that you let your girl get on there and call your wife a stupid bitch, which is your sister, like I can call my sister that. You can't.
Right.
Like, no, there's lines. And the second that kid let his girlfriend get on there and start berating his sister. No,
That's
you're
why
not welcome back.
That's what people don't understand, man. My sister's a fat bitch, but if I'm hanging out with my sister in public, someone calls her a fat bitch, dog, I'm putting hands on you. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't going to come up with that being a stranger and shit like that. I've lived with this fat bitch. You haven't, so I've earned that right to call her that. You have not. So
Yeah, because me and my sister, we used to fight, and we'd talk shit. But the second an outsider does it, it's a totally different story. Like, my sister said some crazy shit to me, but the second somebody else says it, she will not stand for it one bit. And that's really how it should be, is like, especially if you fuck with each other. Like, I mean, if you guys are friends, if you have some sort of relationship where you respect each other, like, that brother was in your house, you were taking care of him. He goes off to his girlfriend's house, and now you're not gonna do exactly what he wants. And now he's coming back at you, fighting you guys. Like, no, you're the asshole that left and decided to put yourself in this scenario. We don't have to now bend over backwards to facilitate you.
and this girl had the brother beat up and then tried to convince him to kill himself. So she's just a bitch.
Yeah, terrible person.
Just a bitch.
And then that is where other family needs to take a crack at it. So if there's other, grandparents, sisters, brothers, whatever, somebody else can step in now. He's burned this bridge. It's not that he can never come back, but he needs to learn some lessons before he comes back. And somebody else needs to take the mantle of taking care of him for a bit.
That bridge is flame brolt. Flame brolt. All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been an episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. If you enjoy it, you can go to patreon.com/Mike and Dylan and get more of this. Wow. What a steal for a small monthly payment. You can see me and Dylan talk.
This Friday, it'll be Neckbeard Saga from Mr. Steven.
Yeah, Mr. Steven gave us a good Neckbeard saga. We're gonna read that on the bonus episode. Love you guys. Bye.
Later.